Radio Guyana Inc. and Telcor Broadcasting are among 24 radio, cable and TV licenses which are ready for handout by the Guyana National Broadcasting Authority, the GNBA, once the approved licensees pay up the license fee and the spectrum fee. Of those, there are 8 TV licenses, 8 radio licenses and 6 cable TV licenses. It was Prime Minister Samuel Hines who announced in the National Assembly that former President Barra Jagdeo had handed out 11 new radio licenses in November 2011, the very month he left office. Among those new licenses were Radio Guyana Inc., owned by Jagdeo's best friend Dr. Ranju Singhi Ramrup, and Telcor Cultural Broadcasting, which has as its directors Jagdeo's niece, Kamini Prasad, and Ruth Baljit, who is the sister of Minister of Natural Resources and the Environment, Mr. Robert Prasad. These 2 licenses, the Prime Minister had said, were each granted 5 radio frequencies. However, today Shadick said that GNBA had approved 6 radio frequencies for these 2 new licenses.
Let me give you them. Telcor, I have Georgetown 90.1 megahertz, New Amsterdam 91.5 megahertz, Skeldon Quarantine 104.9 megahertz, Linden 103.3 megahertz, Bartica 104.9 megahertz, and Essequibo Coast 89.7 megahertz. Radio Guyana Inc., Georgetown 89.5 megahertz, Essequibo Coast 89.3 megahertz, New Amsterdam 89.7 megahertz, Skeldon Quarantine 106.9 megahertz, Linden 107.3 megahertz, and Bartica 106.9 megahertz.
When it was indicated to Shadick that only 5 frequencies each were known to have been handed out to Radio Guyana and Telcor, this was her response.
I just call out what I have.
The licenses which are ready for handout are not new. They are among the 36 broadcasters, including those approved by Jagdeo, which existed at the time the new Broadcasting Act came into existence at the end of August last year. The Prime Minister had also announced that the Mirror newspaper, which is owned by the ruling People's Progressive Party, was granted 5 radio frequencies. However, the Mirror has not yet submitted all its documentation to be approved for a license under the new Act. All the broadcasters were given permission to continue broadcasting and then to apply to the GNBA for a license under the new regulations of the Broadcasting Act. Approved licensees have to pay 2 fees before they're handed their licenses. They have to pay a spectrum fee and a license fee. The license fee was set at a minimum of $2.5 million. Shadick has said that Cabinet directed that the license fee be calculated as 3% of gross income for the preceding year, but it should not be less than $2.5 million. There is no clear cap on what the spectrum fee should be. Shadick said that the National Frequency Management Unit determines what the spectrum fee should be based on technical aspects of the spectrum, such as signal strength.